Is your marriage worth saving after almost walking away? Have you ever felt like giving up on your marriage, unsure if it's truly worth saving? You're not alone. In fact, many couples reach a point where they question everything, doubting whether their love is strong enough to survive. The emotional weight of constant arguing, feeling disconnected, and navigating the pressures of daily life can make you wonder, is this really worth it? I've been there too, feeling like the spark was fading, the connection was slipping away, and the effort seemed pointless. It's like being stuck in a rut, isn't it? You go through the motions, but the emotional bond you once shared feels like it's no longer there. The arguments start to feel repetitive, the silence between you grows louder, and that spark that brought you together in the first place seems to have completely fizzled out. And let's not even get started on the weight of those sleepless nights, lying awake, wondering if you're holding on to something that was never meant to be. The fear of being alone is overwhelming, but the fear of staying unhappy is even worse. But here's the truth. You're not alone in this. Every marriage goes through rough patches. It's easy to get caught in the cycle of negativity and start doubting if it's worth putting in the work. You start thinking, is there a way out? Or, can things really change? It might feel like everything is falling apart, but what if I told you that your marriage could still be saved? Not by grand gestures, not by magically fixing everything overnight, but by small, consistent efforts that can reignite that connection. Think about it for a moment. What really brought you together in the first place? The laughter, the shared dreams, the deep connection that seemed unbreakable. Over time, life happens, external stress, unmet needs, communication breakdowns. It's easy to lose sight of what really matters in your relationship when these things pile up. But here's the key. It's never too late to turn things around. Even if you're both at a breaking point, even if you've thought about walking away, there's still hope. What if the struggles you're facing, those moments of doubt, the feeling of distance, could actually become the turning point for you both? What if those very challenges are what can lead you back to the love and connection you once had? I know it's hard to see it when you're in the thick of things, but with effort, communication, and a renewed commitment to growth, it's possible to not just save your marriage, but to make it stronger than ever. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but if you're both willing to face the challenges together, if you're ready to start taking action, no matter how small, there's a chance to rebuild. So join me in exploring this, because today we're going to dive deep into how to decide if your marriage is worth saving and what steps you can take to start the healing process. Marriage isn't always easy. In fact, there are times when you may feel like giving up. You know that feeling, the one where the challenges pile up and it seems like nothing is working. Communication becomes strained, you start to feel emotionally distant from each other, and life transitions hit hard, whether it's a career change, a move, or the pressures of raising a family. It's in those moments that doubt creeps in, and you start questioning whether it's even worth continuing. The love you once shared feels distant, and the connection you once had seems to be slipping away. But here's the thing, marriage is about growth. It's about facing challenges together and building a stronger bond through adversity. What if this rough patch you're going through isn't the end, but rather the turning point that strengthens your relationship? What if this struggle, as difficult as it is, could be the catalyst for change and deeper connection? Imagine coming out of this challenge with a renewed sense of commitment and a love that's even stronger than before. It's not impossible, and it starts with the willingness to try. We often think that relationships should be easy, but the reality is that every marriage faces its own set of obstacles. It's the commitment to overcome them together that makes a marriage resilient. That's the foundation of lasting love, when both partners are willing to put in the effort, even when it seems tough. So, the question isn't just, is it worth saving? The real question is, are both of you ready to take action, to rebuild, and to nurture your love? This journey is going to take work. It won't be about magically fixing everything overnight or pretending that the struggles don't exist. But the key to overcoming those challenges lies in how you face them together. So, let's take a deep dive into how we can address these struggles, communicate effectively, and rediscover the connection that brought you together in the first place. Together, you can turn this moment of doubt into a turning point for a stronger, more resilient relationship. Every relationship faces challenges. From communication breakdowns to the stress of life changes, there are countless reasons couples might feel like they're on the verge of walking away. It's easy to start wondering if things will ever get better. But these challenges are often the turning point, where couples can either grow stronger together or drift apart. Let's break down some of the most common issues that lead people to that tipping point. One of the biggest issues in any relationship is communication. At first, you're both so eager to talk, share your thoughts, and learn more about each other. But over time, things can change. Couples fall into a pattern where they stop truly listening to one another. What once were heartfelt conversations turn into arguments, or worse, complete silence. Communication starts becoming less about truly understanding each other's feelings and more about getting your point across. This breakdown in communication can happen so gradually that it's hard to even notice. Small misunderstandings turn into big resentments, and the emotional connection begins to erode. What was once a flowing conversation now feels like a battle to get your feelings heard, and that can leave both partners feeling frustrated and alone in their own relationship. Life is constantly changing. Jobs, moves, kids, financial struggles, health issues, all of these things bring stress. When you add life transitions like moving to a new city, having children, or going through career shifts, the strain can be overwhelming. What was once a solid partnership now feels like you're on different paths, and you may start to feel like you're not working together as a team anymore. During these times, it's easy to get caught up in the stress and lose sight of each other. You might find yourselves too busy to connect, too preoccupied with external pressures to maintain the intimacy that once brought you together. This kind of disconnection often breeds frustration and resentment as both partners struggle with the changes that life is throwing at them. Emotional disconnection is another huge factor that leads to feelings of doubt and isolation. This often happens when couples stop prioritizing their relationship. Life gets busy, and before you know it, you're no longer actively nurturing your bond. It's like you're living together but no longer truly connecting. You may begin to feel like strangers in your own home, and that emotional gap can widen, leaving you both feeling lonely and misunderstood. Small issues can accumulate without being addressed, and over time, the emotional distance grows. What was once a deep connection can feel like a distant memory. When you're no longer spending quality time together, when your conversations feel superficial or forced, it can lead you to feel like the relationship is beyond repair. You start to wonder if it's even worth trying anymore. But here's the thing. These challenges don't have to be the end. They're part of every relationship, and they can be overcome. Recognizing them is the first step toward rebuilding. The key is acknowledging these issues and committing to face them together. And that's exactly what we'll explore next. How to rebuild and strengthen your relationship even after it's been tested by these very challenges. Now that we've discussed the challenges, let's focus on the solutions. What can you do to save your marriage and rebuild your bond? Here are some essential strategies that can help you turn things around. The foundation of any lasting relationship is communication. But it's not just about talking, it's about truly listening. We all know how frustrating it can be when you feel like your partner isn't hearing you. But the key to effective communication is making time to sit down and have uninterrupted conversations. It's important to express your feelings, but even more important, to listen to your partner's perspective. Instead of blaming or accusing, try using I feel statements to express how you're feeling. For example, instead of saying, "You never listen to me," try saying, "I feel unheard when we don't have time to talk." This simple change in wording can make all the difference. It encourages understanding instead of defensiveness, and it opens the door for a healthier conversation. Remember, it's not just about getting your point across. It's about hearing your partner's feelings and validating them. Make an effort to listen without interrupting, and let your partner know you're genuinely interested in their thoughts. This is the cornerstone of rebuilding communication in any marriage. In the hustle and bustle of everyday life, it's easy to neglect spending quality time with each other. But the truth is, time is the most precious gift you can give to your partner. Whether it's a weekly date night, a shared hobby, or even just spending time together at home, those small moments of connection are what really make a difference. Even just carving out 30 minutes a day to sit down and talk after dinner, or going for a walk together, can help you reconnect. It doesn't have to be grand gestures or expensive nights out. What matters most is being present for each other. Make sure you are also engaging in shared activities that bring you joy and allow you to bond. When was the last time you laughed together, had fun, or enjoyed each other's company without distractions? This can reignite the spark and remind you why you fell in love in the first place. While spending time together is essential, so is giving each other space. Healthy relationships thrive on balance, and this includes respecting each other's individual needs. Encouraging personal growth and giving your partner the space they need to pursue their own hobbies, goals, and self-care activities can help maintain a sense of individuality while still being a team. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that time apart means you're drifting apart, but that's not the case. Sometimes, taking a step back and giving your partner the space they need actually strengthens the relationship. When both partners have the time to nurture their own passions and personal growth, they bring back a sense of renewed energy and connection when they come together. So, make it a point to support each other's interests. Whether your partner wants to go for a run, read a book, or spend time with friends, respect that need for space and support their individual growth. This creates a sense of balance and independence that will, in turn, improve the bond you share. These three strategies, effective communication, quality time, and respect for individuality, are the building blocks of a healthier, stronger marriage. The key is consistency. These aren't one-time fixes. They require ongoing effort from both partners. But when you invest in your relationship and prioritize these efforts, you'll find that the connection between you only grows deeper. I want to share the story of Sarah and Mark. They had reached a point where they were both considering walking away from their marriage. The emotional disconnection, constant stress from their jobs, and lack of meaningful communication had almost torn them apart. It felt like they were living two separate lives under the same roof. Arguments became more frequent, and the silence between them grew louder. Sarah and Mark had always been deeply in love, but over the years, life changes started to take a toll. They were no longer the couple who shared everything: daily frustrations, small victories, and dreams for the future. Instead, they were simply going through the motions, too tired to fight, too drained to communicate. It felt like the emotional bond they once had was slipping through their fingers, and they didn't know how to get it back. Then one day, they had a conversation. A real conversation. For the first time in what felt like forever. They both acknowledged how disconnected they had become, how much they had been holding in, and how they both felt stuck in a cycle of negativity. It was a tough conversation, full of vulnerability and raw honesty, but it was also a turning point. Instead of letting the distance grow wider, Sarah and Mark made a decision. They were going to take action. They realized that they were both responsible for their relationship's state, and that if they wanted to make it work, it would take commitment and hard work from both of them. So, they sought professional help. They went to marriage counseling and started having regular check-ins to talk about their feelings and concerns, something they hadn't done in years. At first, it wasn't easy. They had to confront uncomfortable truths about their behavior and learn to communicate in a way that wasn't accusatory or defensive. But they stuck with it. Slowly, they began to reconnect. They started spending quality time together again, just the two of them. They shared small moments of affection, reminded each other of the things they loved about one another, and worked on rebuilding trust and understanding. Today, Sarah and Mark are happier than ever. Their relationship is stronger, more connected, and built on a foundation of mutual respect and understanding. They no longer take each other for granted, and they prioritize their relationship every day. What seemed like an insurmountable challenge now feels like a victory. Their marriage has been transformed. This isn't a fairy tale. It's a real example of how a marriage can be saved with hard work, dedication, and a willingness to grow together. Sarah and Mark didn't give up on each other. Instead, they decided to fight for their love, and that decision changed everything. To wrap up, saving your marriage isn't about grand gestures. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment, or thinking that a single act of love will magically fix everything. It's about consistent effort, small, everyday actions that make a lasting difference. It's about showing up for each other day after day, no matter the challenges that come your way. Effective communication, spending quality time together, and respecting each other's individuality are all crucial in nurturing a long-lasting bond. It's the moments of honesty, the time spent connecting, and the support of each other's personal growth that strengthen the foundation of a relationship. When both partners are committed to investing in their marriage, whether it's through meaningful conversations, shared experiences, or simply being there for one another, the rewards are worth it. Marriage is never going to be perfect. It will have its ups and downs, and there will be times when you feel unsure. But what makes a relationship lasting is the commitment to face those challenges together. Every couple's journey is unique, and no two relationships are the same. But the one thing that remains constant is that commitment is key. If both of you are willing to put in the effort, grow together, and nurture the bond you share, there's always hope. Your marriage can become stronger than ever. Remember, the little things matter. The simple gestures of love and care, the willingness to communicate and listen, and the patience to allow each other to grow. If you both make these efforts a priority, your relationship will not only survive, but it will thrive. I'd love to hear from you. What's the biggest challenge you faced in your marriage? What steps have you taken to reconnect with your partner? Share your experiences in the comments below. Let's create a space where we can all learn from each other and support one another through the ups and downs of marriage. If you found this video helpful and you're looking for more tips on nurturing lasting love, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. There's always more to explore when it comes to building a healthy, lasting relationship, and I'm here to share that with you. Next time, we'll dive deeper into rebuilding trust after a setback in your relationship. Trust is the foundation of any strong marriage, and if it's been shaken, we'll explore how to repair it step by step. Stay tuned, and let's continue building stronger, healthier marriages together. Remember, The journey to a better relationship starts with the first step, and I'm so glad you're here for it.